Hey man, just want to tell you, go over the report that I saw with Lieutenant McHugh. It's hard to talk right now. I just did a video and I didn't hit the video recorder thing, so I got to do it all over again. Anyway, I Matt, Matt should have lived. I should have died that day. It should have been me to die. Larry wanted me. He was stalking me, not Matt. Anyway, point is, we found out what happened to Matt. You can read that in the Greenwich Time, Northern Greenwich Magazine. Like I said, Greenwich Magazine, Matthew Margolies. It'll come right up. You can read that right there. What happened to Matt? You know what happened to me. You get the description of the actions. Right, what happened. But Detective McHugh and I, when I was like 17, 18, and it was like 5 years after the fact, he called me up and he asked me to come in. Like I wear every summer. Back then, at least. I wouldn't go there now. They're all Nubians. Anyway, Detective McHugh, which anyone that's been there long enough would know. And there was a Dobson involved. Detective McHugh and I put this report side by side. And Matt and I were both wearing sweats, a t-shirt, and sneakers that day. White sneakers that day. That happened to us. We both had the same hair color, eye color, complexion, height, weight, everything. We looked like brothers. Maybe fraternal twins or brothers or whatever. Wherever. Two brothers were born 6 months apart. So we're in the same age, basically. We were both in the same homeroom class in the morning when we first went to classes at Western Junior High School. We were in the same homeroom class together. Anyway, for 10 minutes or 50 minutes in the morning, they get you all together. It's almost like taking your attendance, making sure you're there, and then off to your first class. They'll get you going for the morning. Your coffee or whatever. Have your, just get you, like an adult would do, getting early to work just to have his coffee or something and get ready to do his job. We would have that going on. Matt was in the homeroom class for all I know, Larry saw him in the homeroom class too. Started mixing the two of us up in his mind. Anyway, Ted McHugh and I came to the conclusion that, that night, Matt was found at about approximately 6 p.m. is when his death was at approximately 6 p.m. Anyway, at that point, the sun was setting over the hill, the other side of Larry's house. Larry's house lied on a hill above, and through some wood, you could see below to the river below, where Matt was fishing. They would go up on the other side of the river, up another hill, like rivers are. They flow at the bottom, of the hills in the valley below. So Matt was fishing down below the valley, and Larry could see a silhouette maybe of him at 6 o'clock because the sun was setting early over the hill. It would be setting early for that part, for that section of woods, because of that hill on the other side. And so they'd be casting long shadows, and Matt might have looked like a silhouette more than just a. So Matt easily, Larry, mistaking him for me, could have easily, the theory was between the two of us that he ran up back into his house, got a knife this time, a better weapon than a nail, because the nail was mostly in his fist. Just a little bit came out and stabbed me 5 times in the back. McHugh said at this point every one of those wounds would have been fatal, but they didn't go deep enough. Well, this time he got something that could go deep enough. He had a handle on it, and the extension was that long. He had the handle here, and the extension was like a knife, that long, a steak knife. Now, he said the only problem with the steak knife was that it was so common all around the nation, all around. Like it was sold in Walmart and Cowdoors and Targets and places like that all around the country. It was just so common they couldn't locate it. And it was a common steak knife. Anyway, that was one problem with the circumstance, with the hard evidence. They didn't have DNA, I think, back then. I don't know what they had. I have no idea, really. But anyway, to make a long end of the story here, Matt, once Larry ran down through those woods, and even if he realized that he got the wrong person, well, he's still going to have to finish it off at that point. So if that kid runs home to his mom and tells him what happens, like I did, and he got to have the manslaughter for what he did to me, well, he'd be going to jail. He knew he was done. Here at more people, there were somebody raped in Greenwich. I talked to her, Wendy something. I don't know if it was Wendy Giordano, but Wendy. She was raped in the woods, left between the Holly Hill Lane, naked. He left her naked between Holly Hill Lane, between Line Avenue and the Dump Road. Holly Hill Lane runs into the dump road in Greenwich, Connecticut. Left her naked. She had to run to one of the people on Line Avenue or whatever. She ran through the woods, got someone on Line Avenue, wrapped her in a sheet. I guess they brought her to the police. They got her some clothes, and they sat her down with me for like an hour. They brought me in. They said, Jeff. It was like at nighttime. It was like 10 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock at night. They called me, Jeff. We got someone here. She's been raped by Larry. You got to come in here and talk to her. Talk her into, tell her what you did. Tell her that you got attempted manslaughter for what you did. You never saw him again. And get her to testify. Please. Please. And I went in there and talked to her for an hour in a room by herself, just me and her. And told her what happened to me. I told her how I testified and how he got attempted manslaughter. How he never came back at me. But the only reason he never came back at me because he thought he killed Matt. He thought he got me when he got Matt. You know? In my life. You know what it's like after something like that happens to you when you live? I've lived to tell the story. I've lived to tell a tale. I've lived to catch this guy Larry. For Matt, not for me, because I'm dead anyway. I mean, I'm a happy guy. I like people, but mostly I like to be alone and just cry. It's all tears and rain. No pain, no pleasure. That's why they give me a medicinal marijuana, but it doesn't always work, like right now. It's not working now. I just smoked it. It's not working now. It works most of the time. It keeps your mind off of it, but I should have been the dead one. I'm living a life like that, and I'm going to be alive now. I'm coming alive. It took a long time. They told me not to tell a soul. For 35 years, I didn't tell anyone about what happened to me. I just held it inside. They never even took me to an emergency room when it happened to me. For the stabbing with a nail, I should have had tetanus shot at least. They should have looked at the wounds. They never took me to the emergency room. They didn't take care of me. 35 years, I didn't tell anybody. Nobody. Nobody. Holding it inside for that long, is it really ever going to be fixed? I don't think so. It was too long for me. So I'm letting it out big time now. It's the only way I can help myself is to do these videos and keep doing them. Let's get this fucking thing solved.